Welcome to my presentation, Assessing Student Learning. We will discuss the methods we use to assess our employee understanding when we do training at each level. We are going to examine 3 different methods that most of you are familiar with. This will provide you the reasoning each of these are important and the impact they have on determining any new directions we take. We will discuss examples of the different methods and how we apply those to our current learning environment. Finally, why we use these processes and each method to determine our responsibility as trainers. So let's get started. As I stated in the earlier slide, in this presentation we're going to discuss the definition of the assessment. What is this concept and how do we use these methods to design better courses? We're going to delve into the assessments and then we're going to compare and contrast 3 different types. We're going to discuss the examples and define explanations of each example. Finally, we're going to discuss how the organization places this in our day-to-day training facility and our business. So we bring our staff into a meeting and we begin to teach them about a new product. After the instruction, we need to determine if we presented this in a manner that each one takes the most possible information back to his or her branch. The basics of this process is what defines assessment, or determining the employee's levels of understanding. So what is assessment? Simply put, assessment is the ongoing process of, number 1, establishing clear, measurable, expected outcomes of student learning. Number 2, establishing that students have sufficient opportunities to achieve those standards we set forth. 3, systematically gathering, analyzing, and interpreting the evidence to determine how well the student learning matches our expectations. And finally, 4, using the resulting information to understand and improve student learning. Susky, 2009. In essence, each step defines the facts based on a student's understanding of the material. Did he or she follow and learned as we expected? Do we need to change the program a bit so each person understands a little bit better? Assessment defines, are we teaching using the proper methods, and do they take that information and move forward with a full understanding? So when we have provided the information to our staff, we need to determine if he or she learned how that new product works. In this case, we need to determine how we will be assessing each employee. First, we are doing a training seminar that is a week long, or it could be just one course on one product. Coming up, that is one course on one product starting next month. Each can require different methods because of the existence of multiple or single topics. For this training, we will discuss the common methods as discussed by Concordia University. Most colleges follow the methods that include tests, process assessment, and in business, our general guide, performance assessment. When we incorporate the examples of each in real-life scenarios, the methods become easier to understand. Looking at the first, testing, we normally include a test following a process. Our Day 1 employees follow this as part of his or her introduction to the company. Because both our federal and state governments have defined that each employee must pass a specific test, we cannot establish how they must be assessed, but we can help them pass the testing process, meaning we can sit down with them and teach them how to pass the test. The next, process assessment, occurs much like our training seminars in Dallas. We provide the employees multiple courses that have built-in activities and goal points. We use speakers who understand the different learning styles and offer a mix in the lesson plan to offer the highest staff achievement. Following this method, we incorporate question-answer periods, open discussions, and in the end of the day, the Jeopardy game. This allows us as trainers to determine if the staff understood and, more important, retained everything we taught. We take this information at the end of the day and determine the weak areas the employee faces and add additional training in any of those areas. This process provides management the ability to determine any weak points in our training, and we can improve those classes. And then finally, we determine the level of understanding through performance assessment. Performance assessment is the evaluation of learning through alternative evaluation strategies. Concordia University 2012. Following that same thought, with the training types we use, PowerPoints, lectures, journaling, we discuss the material with the group. Then we determine by the employees providing the material to us. So we tell them, hey, go out and we want you to do a skit on this particular scenario. That would be an understanding of a performance assessment. This allows us as trainers to determine through their performance if the employee understood the material. We can ask the group to create an outline following one of the listed methods: PowerPoints, lectures, journals. When the employee presents that material, we know if they grasp the concept. We can see any weaknesses. The employees seem to enjoy this method best because they work as a team to present that information they've learned back to us. As a company, we can use each of these assessment methods. While some are required, like the testing, others provide a different approach to determining a level of understanding and if we need to change our training programs. After all, understanding is the goal of the training department. So overall, we have determined the need for assessing employees at each level. Assessing is really determining if we're providing them the material in a method that they understand and that they take back with them. Assessment in the training department should build on what you are already doing, help you address your real problems, enhance your students' learning, and be sustainable in terms of your time and resources. Walvard 2010, page 59. The only way we know the company will do better requires us to assess these results and build on the current programs. The fact remains, we return an employee to his or her work area and hope that they understand and they do not fail. In turn, the company profits decrease when the person does not understand the material, and one of two things must happen. One, we correct the program as we go to assure each takes the information back, or we train over and over again. The first is the best because they're already there. Let's go ahead and continue to train better. As opposed to the latter, it's detrimental to the company profits as we have to staff while we train, and if we fail to train, our company profits drop because he or she does not understand any new or existing product. As stated in this slide, our responsibility is to provide each employee a fair chance to learn our processes and procedures. When they take a class and do not understand, they fail to sell the new or existing product, or worse, they begin to guess at how to do the job. Assessment allows us to determine if they learned and how we can change the methods to determine what we need to do to our existing programs to make them better.